Hello, everyone. It's lovely to be back with you. Now, you may have noticed something in that the background of my usual office is looking a little bit bare. Look at the shelves behind me, there's no books on them. And that's because I'm going to be taking a break. I'm going to take a summer break. And during that time, we're going to be moving home. So I'm not going to give you too many details of that. In fact, I'll surprise you when we've arrived where we've arrived. But our time at Eagle Lodge is coming to a close. It's been the most amazing chapter. And I have to say, from the point of view of spiritual development, to have spent so much time surrounded by nature, living a sustainable life as much as possible, working with permaculture and growing our own food and having the opportunity to look after and care for so many beautiful animals has been an amazing experience. And also, I believe, part of my spiritual progress and development. And we've learned a lot. And over the years, we've had to cope with quite a lot, including crazy storms and things like that, as many of you will know, when I was cut off for 16 days from being able to make any videos or talk to you because we had no power. But we're good and running, and everything's been repaired so well that the chances of that happening again are very slim. But for lots of reasons, we're going to be moving, and I'm going to use this time between now and round about September, October-ish to not only prepare for moving home, because that in itself is a big deal, but take stock. And I think that's something that's really important with our spiritual development, is every now and again we stop, we take a break, and we take stock, because it is always developing. And for those of you who've been doing this for many years, you will understand how much your understanding and your abilities and different aspects of spirituality and mediumship have changed over the years. Also, everything around you has changed. Relationships might have changed. Children you have may now be adults and have flown the nest. So there are so many good reasons to take stock of your life and also take stock of your development. In fact, not even think of it, because primarily the whole purpose of this journey is about discovery. It's about learning, and I believe it's about empowerment. So I'm going to be taking a break from the videos for just a little while, but I really do encourage you to keep watching them, using the meditations. The sitting in the power, for example, is always very helpful. And there are others out there as well. It's horses for courses, so you find what works for you. And I know that some of you will find it quite hard to take a break. You have perhaps given up careers to work full time, and so this is your living. But, you know, I think it's important that if it is your living, that you factor into your living with your costs and expenses and your time, the ability to be able to take a break. So if that means charging $2 more per session so that you can have a week off, so be it. I'm just making that figure out of plucking it out of the air, out of the ether. So, there's ways around it if it's going to be very difficult for you to take a break. But you can also, I think, one of the things that gets people bogged down, and I've seen mediums who don't take a break, or they might take a break, but they don't go with the progress that they could have made. And I think that's very important. You are given new abilities and awarenesses for a reason, and that's because you need to take notice. And you sometimes explore things, don't you? You might explore an avenue. Perhaps you want to explore sound or color, another mode of healing. And that will all add to your progress in life and your understanding of your spirit and your abilities. But you may come back then to your mediumship as it was after you've had a break and you've explored something else, and you will find you're empowered and you have opened up new channels of communication and new understandings. And that's what's important about it, is the empowerment, as I was referring to, because there is a thing here that I want to talk about, and a lot of people talk about the purpose of mediumship being healing. And I think that's true to a degree, but I think it would be very arrogant for us to think we are healing someone by using mediumship, for example. You can't heal grief. You just live with grief. And that living changes over time. But you don't heal a person. Knowing that life continues doesn't heal grief. But it might empower someone. It might empower someone to think, you know what? There's more to this than just this one life, and the love that I have in the spirit world really does exist, and it's true. That is empowerment, because it is giving you knowledge and the opportunity to explore it with yourself and what works with you and what speaks to your soul. So I don't believe that as mediums we really are true healers, but it can heal an aspect within you that says, is there more to life? I mean, really, why do we want more? This world is beautiful, but is there more to life when we are gone and when our loved ones are gone? So that, I think, is actually an aspect of healing, but I would rather say it was empowering, because from that you can explore. So if, for example, you go to a demonstration of mediumship, or you have a private sitting with a medium and you do find it very comforting, that doesn't mean that you have been healed. But in that comfort and in that time of comfort, there is an element of healing. But more than anything, there's an empowerment. You, for a moment, felt that comfort. And in feeling that comfort, you know that there are positives to knowing that there's life after death. What you do with it and how it affects your grief, if you are grieving, because not everybody is grieving. I got into this and I wasn't grieving at all. I hadn't lost anyone significant in my life. Perhaps one or two people, grandparents, but what I mean is someone very close to me, someone I had a lot of interaction with, and created a deep grief within me. I didn't come into this because of that. Like many of you, I would have come into this because I was aware of energy, and I was aware of different energies, and I was aware of knowing things that I wasn't being told about. So that was very empowering to me, to know that I was exploring this, not because I was seeking to heal myself from a deep grief. And there are many of us who came into this and go to the churches not for the reason of healing grief, but for empowerment. So I've rattled on enough about that. Let's get back to taking a break. So you need a break every now and then. And it might be that you can factor in a very strict timetable, like I don't work at weekends, and at weekends you go off doing what you do. And it's nothing to do with your spiritual practice. It might be you need a whole month. It might be you need a year out. And I often receive emails and private messages from former students who say, I needed to take a few years out, and do you remember me? And I remember everyone I've had a conversation with. But yeah, you might need to even take years out, and then you come back to it. And there's a reason why you've come back to it, but you often come back to it because there's more to it you want to explore, but you won't be the same person. And you will have had experiences to open up the other channels that you can bring to your explorations. But the thing is, you come back empowered because you have made that choice. You haven't gone with the crowd. You haven't just got in with a clique and gone along with what they expect of you and worked their way. You've actually empowered yourself by taking a break and getting to know yourself. You see, I used to joke about this with colleagues and friends. I don't want to get to the spirit world, and they turn around and say, "No, you got it all wrong." That would be awful, wouldn't it? But it could very well happen. But I do want to get to the spirit world and think, you know what? I had a really good life, but I don't want to get there and think I neglected my family. I neglected myself. I neglected the planet. I neglected the animals. So yeah, take a break. We're going to be moving house. We're almost packed up. And in a couple of months' time, we'll be in a different place. And hopefully I will see you soon after that, as soon as I'm reconnected with the internet and everything's all set up again. Of course, you know what that's like. It takes a little bit of time. But I would love you to keep supporting the channel and the courses and come back and go over the videos that helped. It's a great resource. There are now quite a few videos on here, and my website as well has tens and tens and tens of blogs and articles. So, do have a look at developingspirit.com, and I will be back as soon as I can. And perhaps I will have my first video will be how I felt taking a break has changed, because we're always in this state of change. Has it empowered me? And in what way has it empowered me? So I wish you a lot of that empowerment. I wish you a lot of love. And I look forward to seeing you again in a few weeks. It'll fly by, but very soon this house will be empty and we'll be on the move. I look forward to seeing you then. Bye-bye.